The night train rattled through the fog like a dying animal. A single passenger sat in the last compartment, staring at her reflection in the window. Her name was Elena Gray, a paranormal historian. She had been invited to investigate Everfield Manor, an abandoned estate outside the village of Bracken Hollow. The letter had arrived 2 weeks ago, unsigned. It simply read, "The dead remember you." Elena tried to ignore it. But curiosity was stronger than fear. And the name Everfield had haunted her dreams for months. She had seen the manor before, in visions, in nightmares. The conductor tapped on the glass. "Last stop, miss." Bracken Hollow. She stepped onto the empty platform, rain misting the air. A black carriage waited at the end. The driver didn't speak. His face was hidden beneath his hat. She climbed in, clutching her satchel. The wheels squealed as the carriage moved toward the hills. "Everfield Manor," she said quietly. The driver nodded but didn't reply. Fog thickened, swallowing the road. Trees rose like black ribs from the earth. Lightning flickered in the distance. And then, the manor appeared. Vast. Broken. Silent. Its towers pierced the clouds like bones. "We're here," the driver said at last. She turned to thank him. But the seat beside her was empty. The carriage door hung open, swinging slowly. "Wonderful," she muttered. She faced the iron gates ahead. They were chained shut, yet slightly ajar. The wind carried a sound, a sigh, almost human. She stepped inside. The gravel crunched beneath her boots. Her lantern flickered. Though the glass was unbroken. "Just the wind," she whispered. But the air smelled faintly of burnt wood and perfume. Like something, or someone, had died here. The great oak doors opened with a groan. Inside, the air was still. Her footsteps echoed down the marble corridor. Portraits lined the walls, solemn faces, aristocratic and stern. Their eyes seemed to follow her. "Classic haunted house decor," she muttered, forcing a smile. She found a match and lit the first candle. Shadows leapt across the paintings. A woman's portrait caught her eye, pale, beautiful, with dark hair. The nameplate beneath read, "Lydia Everfield, 1892 to 1913. Died young," Elena whispered. A chill swept down her spine. Behind her, a floorboard creaked. She turned quickly. No one was there. The candle flickered again. She moved deeper into the manor, her notes trembling in her hand. In the main hall stood a grand staircase. A faint light glowed at the top, a reflection. Or maybe an invitation. "All right," she said softly. "Let's find out who's calling." Upstairs, she found a library. Dust covered everything except one chair, recently used. On the table sat a cup of tea, still warm. "Hello," she called. No response. A book lay open on the table. She leaned closer to read, "They never leave, not really." A drop of water splashed on the page. She looked up. The ceiling was dry. "All right, that's enough," she said nervously. The air felt heavier now. Every shadow seemed to breathe. Then came the whisper. "Elena," it came from behind her. She froze. "Who's there?" "You came back." The voice was female, soft, sorrowful. Elena turned, and saw a woman standing by the fireplace. She wore a white gown, her hair black as ink. Her face was familiar. "Lydia Everfield?" Elena breathed. The ghost tilted her head. "You remember me? We've never met. Not in this life." The ghost's eyes filled with tears. "You left me here." "What are you talking about?" Elena whispered. "You promised you'd come back before the fire." "What fire?" "The one you lit." "No," Elena said. That's not possible. It was you, Clara. My name's Elena. It was Clara before you forgot. The ghost stepped closer. We died together. Elena stumbled back. You're mistaken. The house remembers. I don't. The ghost raised a hand. The walls began to ripple like water. Firelight filled the hall. Screams echoed through the corridor. The portraits melted, revealing burning faces. No? Elena cried. The ghost touched her forehead. Visions flooded her mind, flames, laughter, betrayal. A man shouting her name. Clara. She saw herself, but not herself. A woman in a red dress, striking a match. Lydia crying out. Why? You took him from me, the other her whispered. So I took everything. Elena gasped, collapsing to her knees. That wasn't me, she sobbed. It was, Lydia said gently. And now you've come to remember. Why bring me back? Because you're the only one who can free us. How? The fire never finished. I don't understand. The house is trapped in the moment of our death. Lightning flashed outside. Thunder shook the windows. The clock struck midnight. The flames returned, licking the floorboards. The ghost reached for her. Finish what you started, Clara. I'm not her. Then prove it. How? Save us. The walls began to burn. Smoke filled the air. Elena coughed, stumbling toward the stairs. The ghost followed. You can't run, Lydia said. I'm not running. She reached the main hall. The fire surrounded her. The portrait screamed. The floor split open. Beneath it, a void of black mist. That's where we fell, Lydia whispered. You can end it. How? Burn the heart. What heart? The one you buried. The ghost pointed to the grand piano. Elena dragged it aside. Beneath it, a trapdoor. She opened it, coughing from the smoke. A staircase spiraled down into darkness. She descended, holding the lantern close. At the bottom lay a small, stone room. In the center, a wooden box. It pulsed faintly, like something alive. That's impossible, she whispered. Not everything dies, Lydia said behind her. Sometimes it waits. What's inside? Your heart, the ghost said. The one you tore out before you burned the house. I don't, it's the curse. Then I'll end it. She reached for the box. It was warm to the touch. When she opened it, the room filled with red light. Inside, a heart, still beating. It's yours, Lydia whispered. If it's mine, Elena said, I'll stop it myself. She lifted it, trembling. I'm sorry, she said. For everything. Lydia smiled. Now we can rest. The heart stilled. The fire vanished. The air grew quiet. And the ghost faded into light. When Elena opened her eyes, morning had come. The manor was cold, grey, and still. She lay in the main hall, the lantern burned out beside her. It's over, she whispered. She gathered her notes and left the house. As she reached the gate, a voice behind her said softly, "Thank you." She turned, no one there. Just the wind. She smiled faintly. Goodbye, Lydia. Weeks later, back in London, Elena wrote her article. The Echoes of Everfield Manor, a true account. Her editor laughed. You expect me to print ghost stories? It's history, she said. You're serious? I lived it. He sighed. Fine. But change the ending, make it less tragic. There was no tragedy, she said quietly. Only forgiveness. That night, she dreamed of the manor again. It was whole, shining, beautiful. A woman waved from the balcony, "Lydia." Then she was gone. Elena woke with tears in her eyes. Her apartment was silent. She walked to her mirror. Her reflection smiled before she did. "Not again," she whispered. The reflection whispered back, "We're still here." The lights flickered. A chill ran through her bones. She backed away. The mirror rippled like water. Lydia's face appeared beside her own. "You freed us," the ghost said. "Then why are you here?" "Because the curse wasn't only ours." "What do you mean?" "You opened the door." "Door?" "Between memory and death." The window shattered. Cold air swept through the room. "No?" Elena shouted. "Close it." "It's too late," Lydia whispered. Shadows poured from the mirror. Faces. Hands. Whispers. The lights exploded. The apartment filled with fog. "You shouldn't have remembered," Lydia said sadly. Elena screamed. Then, silence. The next morning, her editor came to check on her. The apartment door was open. Inside, nothing disturbed. Only her notebook on the desk. It ended with one line, "Every memory haunts its maker." The mirror across the room was cracked. Her reflection was smiling. But her reflection wasn't alone. A woman stood beside it, "Lydia." The editor stared, terrified. "Elena," he whispered. The reflection nodded. The glass rippled again. A whisper escaped, "Welcome to Everfield." The lights flickered. He dropped the notebook. The title on the cover had changed. It now read, "The Dead Remember You." Police found the apartment empty. No sign of Elena or the editor. Only the cracked mirror remained. A week later, a new tenant moved in. She was an artist, quiet and polite. On her first night, she noticed something odd. When she passed the mirror, she swore she heard a voice. "Don't look too long," it said. She laughed nervously. "Right. Haunted flat." She went to bed early. But she dreamed of a house on a hill. Of a woman in white. Of a heart that wouldn't stop beating. When she woke, her sketchbook was open. She didn't remember drawing. But on the page was a perfect image of Everfield Manor. And below it, a note in handwriting that wasn't hers. "Come home." The lights flickered once. She looked up. In the mirror stood Elena. Smiling faintly. "We've been waiting," she whispered. The artist screamed. The mirror shattered. And in every shard, a reflection of the manor. Wind howled through the cracks in the glass. Somewhere far away, the bells of Everfield chimed. The house stood again, live, awake. Inside, candles burned on their own. Portraits whispered in the dark. Lydia and Elena walked the halls together. "It starts again," Lydia said softly. "Will it ever end?" Elena asked. "When the living stop remembering." "Then it never will," Elena sighed. Outside, the wind carried a voice, "Every memory has a ghost." And Everfield Manor waited for the next visitor.